Today's question is, in the 52 years since 5 friends vanished from Northern California, what really happened to them? On February 1978, 5 friends from Yuba County, California, Dennis Martin, Quincy, Jerry, and Susan Shepard, along with their friend Kevin Coe, left Quincy after attending a basketball game. When they failed to return home that night, the Shepards reported them missing. For days, authorities searched for the quintet. Their car was found abandoned on a remote mountain road near the Sierra Nevada snow line. The vehicle was several miles from any town and had been left with its engine running. Full of gas, in park, and in gear, with the keys missing. No damage to the car suggested it had been left in a hurry. A few months later, searchers found some of the men deep in the forest near a ranger station stocked with food and heat, yet they never used it. All 5 men were officially listed as missing persons, their fates unknown. When a sheriff's deputy first spotted the abandoned vehicle on March 3rd, he assumed it belonged to a recent runaway. Several cars went missing each year, especially during deer season. Most turned up abandoned along the highway, usually with the occupants having run out of gas or broken down due to the heavy snow. But this case was different. There was nothing mechanically wrong with the car, which had been rented by Dennis Martin, a 26-year-old mechanic. His friends said he was an experienced driver who knew the area well. Besides, there was no logical reason for anyone to abandon the car in the middle of nowhere. It was not until March, when searchers found footprints in the snow leading away from the vehicle, that they realized something more sinister might be at play. There were tire tracks too, but they weren't made by the car. An investigator would later say they resembled those of a logging truck. On April 1978, 4 months after the men disappeared, a massive search effort turned up the bodies of Jerry and Susan Shepard, half a mile from the ranger station, which had been equipped with shovels, axes, and saws, enough fuel to keep a fire going for 3 weeks, plus sleeping bags and blankets. Yet the couple and 2 others found with them had not used these supplies or sought shelter in the building. 2 of them were wearing only thin jackets, while the third had on a t-shirt, blue jeans, and socks. None of them had shoes. An autopsy revealed none of them had eaten for several days, but all of them were in good health when they died, suggesting they'd likely succumbed to exposure after becoming disoriented and separated from the group. But what caused them to abandon their car, walk into the snow without supplies, and ignore the shelter that could have saved them? Authorities pursued several theories over the years. Some believed the men were chased into the mountains by whoever made the tire tracks. Others thought they might have been lured to the area under false pretenses. Perhaps someone told them there was a great skiing or fishing spot just over the hill. Or maybe they were led to believe there was a party or gathering at the ranger station. Years passed and the investigation grew cold. 2018, the case was featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, and a man known only as Jake contacted the producers. He claimed to have met a drifter while working construction in Quincy in 1978, who told him he'd killed 2 men in a drug deal gone bad. The drifter, who had facial scars, supposedly confessed to luring the Shepards and their friends to the Sierra with the promise of a good time. He then stuffed the men in his logging truck, drove them up the mountain, and left them stranded. According to the drifter, the men panicked and ran off separately, stumbling around in the snow until they froze to death. The problem with this account, aside from the fact that the drifter changed his story several times, is that forensics experts say the tire tracks don't match the drifter's logging truck. The case remains one of America's strangest unsolved mysteries. In 1978, William Haggard, who owned the logging truck that matched the tire tracks, was considered a suspect, but he passed a polygraph test and an alibi check. He was never charged in connection with the crime. Today, investigators are still trying to identify the men whose footprints were found in the snow, and they're asking anyone with information to contact the sheriff's department. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And remember, evil doesn't always win. Sometimes good people just give up too soon.